All right, it's another beautiful week in the month of October. And of course, this is going to be the last week of October and the beginning week of November. And of course, because of that, we're going to be expecting the FOMC news. Of course, we're also going to be expecting the NFP news by Friday. By the way, my name is 𝗟𝗜𝗞𝗘, and I'm super delighted to have every one of you here as we do it every single week, right? And of course, if you're asking who is 𝗟𝗜𝗞𝗘, I'm the head market analyst for EQ Markets Global. Now, let's dive straight into the economic news and calendar for this week. Because, of course, this week we've got a lot of news that we're expecting that is coming out for the global financial market. Okay, so on Monday, of course, we will only be expecting some minor news, although there are also high impact expected news to cause a lot of volatility in the market. And of course, that's coming out from the Eurozone, that is Germany and Spanish, all right, and Spain as well. We're expecting the CPI month on month and year on year for the Eurozone. And then, of course, on Tuesday, we have a very important news that will be coming out, okay? But before I get to that, by 2:30 a.m. Nigerian time, we'll be expecting the manufacturing PMI for the Chinese Q1, okay? And of course, still Tuesday, 31st of October, which is tomorrow, most importantly, we will be expecting, of course, the monetary policy statement from the Bank of Japan. Now, this monetary policy statement we're expecting this month is very crucial and very important, all right? In fact, going from now till 2024, whatever reports we'll be expecting, whatever monetary policy report we'll be expecting from Japan is going to be very crucial. Of course, as I speak to you now, the monetary policy committee, all right, sitting to review interest rates and other things in Japan had been sitting since are going to start sitting today to discuss. And of course, there is a whole lot of tension, there's a whole lot of conundrum, all right, amongst the committee. And this is, of course, because there is a forecast that Japan will be bringing to end their sub-zero interest rate, that is their negative interest rate policy. Of course, if you know, they began a very long time ago, around 2016, and of course, they've been able to keep their interest rate below zero, that is sub-zero, negative, right? And of course, this is actually for a reason. And of course, these tests had yielded a lot of results that is thereby improving the economy, and of course making Japan one of the centers of research, development, and manufacturing. But the adverse effect is that a lot of Japanese investors go out of Japan to make investment, to buy government bonds, to buy shares, to buy a whole lot of investments outside of Japan, because if they do so in Japan, the interest rates wouldn't favor them, right? They are rather going to be losing money rather than making money. And of course, now there is a whole lot of talks in place. And of course, even the governor of the Bank of Japan, Governor Ueda, is also under pressure, right, to see that they also bring the interest rates to positive. And of course, if this happens, the Japanese yen is going to strengthen for long. I mean, imagine Japanese investors buying US bonds up to over $1.1 trillion as at August ending 2023. Right, as at August ending 2023, it was noted by the US Department of Finance that Japanese investors have over 1.1 billion US bonds that they invested in. I mean, all over Europe, all over Australia, and all over US, Japan's are known to have huge investments, even in the government. And so, of course, if the Japanese economy comes into have positive interest rates, then we might most likely be expecting fund repatriation, okay? That is a return of funds back to their own country to make investments in their own country. So this is very, very important. Although it is still marked tentative, as we can find here, right? It is still marked tentative as we find here, but let's all be aware that Going forward from now to 2024, of course, the Bank of Japan are looking at positive interest rates rather than the negative interest rate at standing at 0.1, negative 0.1%, right? And of course, we would also be we'll also be expecting the employment costs, employment changes, and a few other reports for that day, right? So I want to just quickly go ahead and take the very important ones, right? And yeah, so that's for on Tuesday. The most important news you should be looking for is, of course, the monetary policy statement from Japan, right? And of course, the employment cost index and employment changes for both USD and Kiwi, right? That's the New Zealand dollar. All right. On Wednesday, which is the 1st of November as well, we'll be experiencing bank holiday for Europe, of course. Most likely in France and also in Italy, the banks will be closed in observance of the All Saints Day, right? So of course, we wouldn't be expecting so much from Euro on Wednesday, right? And of course, we will also be expecting the ADP non-farm employment change. Don't forget on Friday is NFP. And of course, we're going to be seeing the ADP forecast for Friday's NFP on Wednesday this week. I hope that makes sense even. All right, so normally there is more like a simulated kind of report, more like NFP being simulated the Wednesday before the Friday it happens, right? And of course, that's called the ADP non-farm employment change. And that's what we'll be expecting by 1:15 p.m. on Wednesday. That is most likely going to guide us or give us more like an overview or an oversight to what will most likely be happening on Friday. Okay. And then, of course, we'll be expecting also the job opening and labor turnover survey. That's the JOLTS report, right? And of course, previously we saw about 9.61 million job reports. And of course, this morning it is forecasted to be around 9.27 million job reports, all right? Whatever is the case, so long as it stays around the zone of 9 million to 9.6 million, it's going to be more like playing around the neutral zone, all right? And of course, the dollar is still going to be acting in the way it would act, except of course, we see very high figures above 10.5 million or around 10 point something million or even up to 11 million, then it simply means that the dollar would most likely be aggressively strengthened, okay? And of course, by 7 p.m., we'll be expecting FOMC statement. And of course, there is currently a forecast that the Fed is going to keep interest rates still at 5.5%. It's more like a forecast than from all of the analysts around the US, right? It's more like a forecast that they're going to keep it at 5.5%. And of course, we already know that inflation is no longer countries are no longer battling with inflation as it used to some 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, right? Inflation is down, and of course, everything seemed to be going really smoothly. And of course, the Fed does not have any justifiable reason as it stands now to increase interest rates. So most likely, we're still expecting that interest rate is going to be standing at around 5.5% for the USD. And then going forward on Thursday, we'll expect the CPI data for the Swiss franc. And of course, as well, we are going to also experience monetary policy statements, that is the official bank rate statement for the GBP, all right? That's the Great Britain pound, right? So last time we had 5 people against 5 people voted for the interest rates to remain the same against 4 people who voted that the interest rate should increase. All right, the forecast is that among the nine-man committee, we will be expecting about 7 people voting. It's more like it's just a forecast, so don't get me wrong. So it's forecasted that this month we will be having 7 people vote for the interest rate to remain at 5.5% against 2 people who would probably be voting for the interest rate to go up. But whatever is the case, we're expecting interest rates to also remain at 5.25% for the GBP. And of course, that's the That's the report that we are expecting to come out of the Great Britain Pound Monetary Policy Committee. All right. And then going forward on Friday, then we're going to be also seeing a bank holiday for the Japanese yen. And of course, that's the same day USD will be having the non-farm payroll. I mean, super opportunity, right? While the Japans are sleeping, the USD is having high impact expected news. And of course, if it goes in favor of the USD, that's going to be massive bullish movement. And of course, if it goes against the USD, right, that's going to be a massive bearish movement for USD JPY. Just more like an insight. But don't forget, every NFP, myself and the committee have always traded these NFPs and always made profit. All right, so far so good. Our record had been 9/10, right? So far so good. From January up until October, right? 9/10. We've actually got in massive profits 9 times out of only once that we out of 10 times that we've traded NFP. So this is more like still an open invitation for every one of you watching this video, right? I want you to also be part of the November NFP trading session with myself, 𝗟𝗜𝗏. And how you're going to be doing that is very simple. If you are very new and of course you don't know how to participate in this, you can leave a comment for me in the comment section, right, of this video. Just leave a comment for me that I'm interested to be part of the NFP, and I'm going to reach out to you before Friday and I'll tell you what to do, right? Or this very simple way that you can also be part of the NFP. It's completely free for you because I'm making an open call to you. Normally it's for only our community members, but I'm going to leave it open for you, right? It's my own gift for you in this festive season we're getting into. I need you to make massive profit for yourself. Okay, so what you're simply going to do is leave a comment for me that I'm super interested in the NFP session for November. Or if you don't want to do that, go in the description below. You're going to see the link to our website. That's www.eqmarketsglobal.com. Right, simply click on it, go register and create an account with us. And then when you create an account with us, somebody's going to give you a call, right? Do well to tell the person that you want to be part of the NFP. And of course, you need to have a funded live account of a minimum $200 to be part of us, okay? So that you can also take maximum profit for yourself, right? I'll be glad to see you over there, right? So now let's jump straight into what we have for today. Let's start with just analyzing the DXY, okay? So for the DXY, we are remember, right? Still remember this zone for those of you that had been following up my weekly market analysis. So this is our daily point of interest, right? This is our daily point of interest. Of course, that's an order block and of course an imbalance after that. So of course, I was expecting that when prices gets to this zone, it's definitely going to react, which of course it is doing. It reacted, went back up, was failed to break further above, right? But if you look closely inside that point of interest, I've also mapped out a very significant level here, which is more like a fair value gap, right? So I'm expecting that, okay, most likely that the USD fails to break below, then it's going to come back to test above. It's going to come back to test the fair value gap before before descending all the way to the downside. But except that, if that does not happen, then we're expecting that it breaks below this zone that we have here. All right, we're expecting that it breaks below this zone that we have here. So what exactly am I expecting? I can still see bearish momentum on the daily time frame. Most likely price will play around this level and then go back to test the fair value gap before falling all the way to the downside. Most likely that's what I could possibly see happening in the market. Prices playing around this zone here, more like a support zone, and then going back to test the fair value gap before going back up. And of course, that might also be an opportunity to clear out the liquidity resting here, right? So if it clears out the liquidity resting here, so this zone now acts as what? Inducement zone, and prices clears out the liquidity, tests this fair value gap, and then begins to go all the way to the downside. So yes, we might see a push to the upside, most likely on USD quote pairs, right? On USD quote pairs. but let's be careful how we trade them. I'm going to show you that. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting on the XY for this week, right? So significantly before Friday, we will probably know what exact direction that the USD will be going. Okay, but until then, this is what I see. A support zone around here, come back to retest the fair value gap, and then go all the way to the downside. All right, so I've got an opportunity for you this week, right? I've got some very good opportunities. Okay, I've got some very good opportunities for you this week. Sorry about that. All right, so let me start with the USD quote pairs, right? So let's start with GBP USD, right? So on GBP USD, of course, let me show you on the weekly time frame what I can see on GBP USD. All right, so on the weekly time frame on GBP USD, first GBP is resting on a significant support area, and of course it's at the same time obeying this trend line channel, right? So let me show you that it's at the same time obeying this trend line channel. All right, okay, sorry about that. Don't know why it keeps picking. Yep, I got it. Okay, so just something like this, yeah? So it's actually looking as though it's obeying this trend line channel. Well, there is a support around here, so we're most likely going to be seeing that support being respected. So this is what I could see on the weekly time frame. All right, a trend line channel inside a bigger trend line channel. All right, so this is a bigger trend line channel. This is a bigger picture, right? But then there is still this trend line channel that is being respected. So let's get to watch out for it, how it plays out. So let's scale down to the lower time frame, which is on the daily time frame. Yeah. So on the daily time frame, we can see how prices have nicely played around this particular support area. And of course, I think that was that was another block as well on the 4-hourly time frame. So yes, what I'm expecting is a massive bullish run from here. And of course, remember, I'm expecting the dollar to weaken, the dollar to go up and then fall below, right? So if that happens, I'm expecting a massive bullish run from here because, of course, this support area still holds, and of course, we still have our lower part of the trend line channel moving here. Okay, so it simply means that if this trend line channel is to be obeyed, and this should be the second touch, then we're expecting this week a massive bullish movement on GBP USD. So yeah, I'll scale down to the 4-hourly time frame and I'll show you some good entries that we can find here. All right, so on the 4-hourly time frame, we just got a confirmation by our commodity channel index moving above the zero line. It simply means that there is still more bullish pressure to come. So what I would simply advise that we do, if you're seeing this video, right, I will be targeting very short. Okay, I would not want to take so much. So this is 1:3. Apparently, if prices go above that, my short-term final take profit. Of course, my long-term is way above that, right? But my short-term final take profit is somewhere around this level of 1.23368. All right, 1.23368. My entry could be at current market price because I'm seeing a confirmation for buy. But of course, there is more like a resistance somewhere around the current market price. So of course, a breakout above that level will boost our confidence that prices is going all the way to the top. All right, I'm going to also have a very big stop because apparently we missed the entry. This was supposed to be my entry, right? So this area here was supposed to be my entry here, right? Because of course there's a fair value gap that I noticed. So I knew that prices was going to come back to this zone before going back to the upside, right? If we had taken it there, just like I made mention of it last week, right? I made mention of it last week in our live market session. That would have been to a risk reward of 1:20.5, right? It simply means if you're risking, say, $20 on this trade, you're expecting to cash out $400. But by the way, so I know that most of you must have missed this zone, but some of you that were there on Friday, on Thursday, I gave you precisely these zones to watch out for. And I told you that prices is going to drop to that zone and move back up. And exactly what I said for Friday on Thursday had happened, right? Price came exactly into that zone, tapped it, and moved all the way to the top. If you look at it on the 1 hourly time frame, it's very clear. Remember this zone? For those of you that participated in Friday's, Thursday's live market session, yeah, it's amazing. So, but then let's say we're making a fresh analysis, right? So I will be expecting that price will continue to move from the current market price where it is, right? And move all the way to the top here, right? Which will present us with a nice 1:5 or 1:6 risk to reward, right? From the current market value, from the current market price, I expect price to continue to soar higher, right? So the current market price is when you find this video where it is currently trading. And of course, do well to do your own analysis, do your own research and analysis. The stop loss I'm recommending could possibly be around 1.20810, 1.20810. That is on GBP USD. But of course, you can also see that maybe you could allow your trade to wiggle and breathe, have space to breathe. So you might want to increase your stop. But then my final take profit I'm looking at is at 1.23368. But apparently, at 1:1, you can partial close some of your profit if you want, which will be our first take profit at 1.21658, 1.21658. And of course, if prices rally all the way again to 1.22228, that is 1.228, right? We can take our second take profit, and of course, our final take profit at 1.23368. That's my bias for this week on GBP USD. Now, I have similar bias for as well Euro USD, where we see that price is going all the way to the top. If you look at it first on the weekly time frame, you also notice the same trend line channel that is playing out, right? The same trend line channel that is most likely playing out. So let's look at it together. Let's look at it together. Right. So of course, as well on the weekly time frame for Euro USD, we already got a bullish confirmation, and of course that's my biggest happiness, right? I love to see this confirmation because it boosts my confidence on the trades that I take. So since I already have my commodity channel index moving above the -0 line, telling me that look, sellers are tired of this market and buyers are hopping in to take prices higher. That's the biggest confidence I'm looking out for. So let's go down to the daily time frame, and of course, we will get to see that on the daily time frame there is a confirmation as well. That is the commodity channel index moving below 0 and back above 0. So I'm already in this market for a buy, right? All of these analysis I'm telling you, I'm already currently running the trades on them. So to have final entry, I go down to the 4-hourly time frame, right? And I told you, I'm already in this market, but I'm looking at prices at first coming into this level here, right? This week, I'm expecting prices coming into on Euro USD 1.06937, 1.06937. Of course, if you're entering the market at the current market price, expect to keep your stop loss. Okay, so someone like me, I entered somewhere around here. But I know you are not entering there, so it's going to be kind of quite difficult for you, right? But entering at that level there, I have my stop loss somewhere at around 1.05234, 1.05234. I'm currently running about 1:1 in profit, right? But I'm expecting to cash out the whole of this 1:5.4. I'm expecting to cash them out, all right? So my take profit again, 1.06298 or 1.06397, around that range. I'm going to take my final take profit on Euro USD. All right, I still have similar bias on NZD USD, where you see that price is also making similar move, right? On NZD USD, there's also a peculiar analysis to it, right? So I know this trend line looks absurd, kind of. One would be wondering, why would you draw a trend line that way? But let me show you what has been happening here. So here, apparently, we saw that this particular zone was a resistance zone, right? It was a resistance zone, then it became a support, and then again a support here again, right? And then again it became a support and a support. So last time prices took flight from here, right? I told you guys that I was going to buy, but I was being skeptical. So I told you that if it gets to somewhere around this resistance zone, which is around 0.678, close out your trade, right? Because I was being skeptical because I still saw some drawdowns. Okay, I still saw some bearish movements in the market. But this time around, right, I am over 80% confident that this bullish run is going to last almost forever. Don't mind me, it can last forever, right? But it's going to last for a very long time. It's going to last really for a very, very long time. So I'm taking a bullish flight from here. Right, I think I can't use that anymore. Okay. Sorry, just pardon me a second. All right, so I can see massive bullish movements taking place here. And of course, like looking for confirmation on the daily time frame, we just got a fresh confirmation, very fresh confirmation for a buy. As you can see that, right? Very fresh confirmation. It confirmed on Friday, but the confirmation showed today. So I'm already in NZD/USD for a buy. No jokes, guys. No jokes. So let me just give you my parameters that I'm actually looking at. Okay, so sorry about this. So sorry about this. Let's see. All right, so I think this was just okay, sorry about this. I think it was network. Okay, amazing. So yeah, I said I got confirmation on NZD/USD. So let's go down to the 4-hourly time frame so that I simplify everything that I see here for you to trade and make your profit, right? So already there is bullish momentum. There is a confirmation here on the 4-hourly time frame as well. In fact, there is two confirmation. First, the first confirmation came somewhere around this level here, and then of course the second confirmation came somewhere around this candlestick here. All right, the candlestick that opened today was where we got the second confirmation. Yeah, so it simply means that I'm upping in for a buy. I'm upping in for a buy somewhere around this level, and of course I'm expecting my stop loss to be tight. Let's say I can have a stop loss just a little below this level here, right? But it would be more advisable to allow your trades to breathe. And then, of course, this will be my first take profit. That is 0.58598, right? That will be my first take profit. This is about 1:1. That will be my first take profit. I like to secure profits at 1:1.5 or 1:1, okay, or 1:2, okay, so that if prices does not get to meet up 1:5 or 1:6, as the case may be, you still locked in some profit for yourself, right? But the final take profit I'm looking at is 0.60549, 0.60549. That is, if price is able to clear above this zone here and clear above 0.58757, there's nothing stopping prices from going to eat 0.60549 on NZD/USD. All right. And of course, I've given you about 3 trade setups. AUD/USD is the same buy setup. GBP/USD, EUR/USD is still the same buy setup, right? And of course, the last but not the least I'll be giving to you is gold, right? Gold. Yeah, I know a lot of people would want to know where is gold headed and what is happening on gold. So let's go to the weekly time frame and let's see what's happening on the weekly time frame. So on gold, we are seeing we've already seen um on gold that we've had triple top happened, right? Triple top pattern, first, second, and third, right? And then of course prices fell below, right? Found support somewhere around 1820, right? And then began to rally back up, right? And then clearing above this inducement zones or inducement level and coming back to retest this zone. Now, this particular area where gold is trading is an area that, of course, if you've been following my weekly analysis and mentorships, you also know that I've marked that zone over a month ago, and I told you gold was coming to test that zone over a month ago. I marked out that zone, right? So let's go down to the daily time frame, and I'll show you what is currently happening on that zone and why I marked that zone out. So this is our daily point of interest because that's an order block, and of course an imbalance after it's verified that it's a valid order block, right? So from that zone here, price just tapped into it and began to sell off, right? Just began to sell off. On the daily time frame, we've got a bearish confirmation, but it is not so certain that this is going to cause a sell-off. But apparently, there was a trend line channel which was being obeyed by gold. So even with the look of things, we're expecting that gold should make a sell back into this zone here, right? Possibly touching the trend line channel, right? Somewhere at around 1883 before going back to the top. That is if it's going to go back, right, to the top. So let's stretch these out and let's see how that plays out, right? So we're expecting prices to fall down to this zone before going back to the top. But is there confirmation now for the sell? Yes, there's confirmation on the 4-hourly time frame and even on the daily time frame. But let's watch out for a little pushback to the upside and then fall below. Most likely, I would advise that for you to get this entry, you scale to the 15 minutes time frame, right? Scale to the 15 minutes time frame, and on the 15 minutes time frame, find the same fair value gaps or other blocks, right? Now that we've seen prices, we've already known that prices is going all the way to the downside. Of course, you can see that this is what we call a change of character. Then let's expect retracement back into significant highs, and then we take a shot, right? So I'm expecting that prices will rally back up into this zone before going all the way to the downside. And of course, this zone I'm expecting is around 2001. It's currently trading at around 1996. All right, expect prices to come into 2001 to 2002 axis, and then look for a confirmation on the 15 minutes time frame for a sell, and then short it. It's probably going to fall all the way back into 1976. All right, 1976, and of course that's going to be good money for you, because that will be right. So let me show you how many pip movement we would be expecting on such kind of a sell. So if it falls back into 1976, as I say, that is over 2,463 pip movement to the downside, and that would be huge money for you, right? Huge money for you. All right, so this is the bias that I have for all of the pairs that I've just shown to you. There are still more, but already I don't want this video to be too long. So what you're going to do is simply become an elite member with us, and it costs you nothing. It's absolutely free. Now, in our elite WhatsApp group, all right, in our closed WhatsApp group for only bona fide members of the EQ Markets Global family, I share with you my trade setups. All right, I share with you confirmations, not just to tell you directions and where I expect prices to get to. I share with you real parameters, enter here, close here. And of course, if you feel that makes sense for you, right, simply rush to become part of our member on that closed WhatsApp group for our elite members. And of course, it costs you nothing. Only all you have to do is simply go to www.eqmarketsglobal.com and then create an account, get the account verified, and get the account funded. Someone is going to reach out to you as well, and then you can be part of our family once your account is verified and funded, right? So don't miss this opportunity. Then there is also weekly mentorships that goes on there, right? At least we get to learn officially twice every week. In fact, it is known that Friday 11 a.m. we have the best mentorship ever in Nigeria, all right? It is called the GoPro mentorship, and I don't want you to miss the GoPro mentorship. This week, this month, we've been looking, for the month of September, we looked at a whole lot of things. Personally, I trade, and we looked at how to find point of interest, how to find confirmations. We also learned market structure, right? But in the month of October, right? We decided we're going to look at advanced market structure, and that we did in the month of October, and it was powerful, right? In fact, last Friday was awesome. So don't miss that. Simply go to the link below, create an account, be part of our family, and I'll see you on the other side. For now, thank you so much. Leave your thoughts and comments. Leave a like for this video, okay? Leave a like for this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.